Once again, hello dear friends. I am Trupti Bidwe. Students, in the previous video, I have covered some of the topics in group theory. Now, in this video is nothing but the extension of the previous video. In this video, we are going to cover next points of the group theory like subgroups, normal subgroups, homomorphism, isomorphism, and so on. Now, let us go with the definition of subgroup. Any non-empty set H is any non-empty set, and when we say that H is a subgroup of G, if H itself is a group with same operation, whatever the operation on G, same operation will be held for H, then we say that H is a subgroup of G. And this is a necessary and sufficient condition to check any non-empty set H to be a subgroup of G is that AB inverse belongs to H. For all A and B belongs to H. Necessary and sufficient means what? If and only, simply means if H is any non-empty set and we say that H is a subgroup, H must satisfy this condition. And conversely, whenever we say that H satisfy this condition, we say that H is a subgroup of G. Let us check. Whenever any non-empty set which satisfy this condition AB inverse belongs to H, then how H will be a subgroup of G? Subgroup means H itself is a group with the same operation on G. Means H must satisfy the four conditions of group: closure, associativity, existence of identity, and existence of inverse. With this property AB inverse belongs to H, let us check all these four properties of this group. First, substitute B is equals to A. Substitute B equals to A here. What we obtain? A into A inverse. A into A inverse is identity. E belongs to H. Means first, existence of identity satisfied. Second, substitute A is equals to E as E exists in the previously exists. Therefore, substitute A equals to E. E into B inverse is equals to B inverse, means B inverse belongs to H, means existence of inverse, existence of identity, existence of inverse. Two satisfied, two properties we have covered. And as B inverse belongs to H, inverse of B inverse, that is B, belongs to H. Therefore, what we obtain? A inverse of B inverse is nothing but A into B, that is closure satisfies, also associativity also satisfies. Therefore, this H with this AB inverse belongs to H, we can show that easily H satisfies all the four properties of group. Therefore, we can say that H is a group with the same operation on G. Rather, we can say that H is a subgroup of G. With this definition of subgroup, we will go some of the examples. First example is Z plus is a subgroup of Q plus. Q plus set of rational numbers, Z plus set of integers. We have previously seen that Z plus, Q plus both are groups. Z plus is subgroup of Q plus because this Z is a subset of Q, that is non-empty subset of Q, and here both operations are same. And this Z plus satisfy this property. A B inverse belongs to H. B inverse nothing but the additive inverse of B. That is minus B. A minus B belongs to H. Now find out the subgroups of Z plus. Each MZ. What is M? M is any integer which is greater or equal by 0. Each MZ is a subgroup of Z. If we take M equals to 0, what we obtain? 0 into Z, that is singleton 0, is always a subgroup of Z. See, Z has always two subgroups exist. That is, one is singleton 0, that is identity, singleton identity. And second one is the group itself. Therefore, this M equals to 0, we obtain this singleton 0 is a subgroup of Z. And for this M not equal to 0, that is M strictly greater than 0, we obtain different subgroups of Z. You can check very easily. What are the elements in this set MZ, capital Z actually here it is. MZ is nothing but simply multiply each and every element of Z by M. We obtain the corresponding set MZ, and the corresponding set MZ is again a group with the same operation on Z, that is addition. Therefore, we can say that Z has infinite number of subgroups because M takes the value 0, 1, 2, and so on. Therefore, Z has infinite number of subgroups. Subgroups of Z6 generated by 0. See, in order to find subgroups of any group Z, any group G, Simply find out its generators, because every generator is a subgroup. Generator is always a subgroup of that corresponding group G. Generated by 0 is singleton 0. Generated by 1, generated by 5 is nothing but whole Z6 itself. Why it is so? Generated by 1, it contains the elements 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, that is 3, 3 plus 1, that is 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6 is nothing but 0 here. That is generated by 1, generated by 2, this is nothing but Z6 itself. Generated by 2, generated by 4, it contains this elements 0, 2, 4. 2 generated by 2, first element 2, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, that is 6 is nothing but 0. It is subgroup of order 3. And also one more subgroup of order 2, that is generated by 3, that is it is 0, 3. 3 plus 0, 0, sorry, 3 plus 0, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 is nothing but 0. Therefore, Z6 has exactly 4 subgroups. One is the subgroup of order 1, this is the subgroup of order 6, subgroup of order 3, subgroup of order 2. Now find out the subgroups of D4. One is the identity and D4. These are two subgroups always exist for any group. Now generated by R90, generated by 270. It gives the subgroup R0, R90, R180, 270. Why this is so? Because first element of this generated by R90 is nothing but 1 is R90. Operate this, let us see this slide. Operate R90. Let me show this slide again. This is R90. No? Again, operate this operation R90 to this. What we obtain? This here A, B, C, D. Here it is starts from A here. A, B, C, D. Again, operate R90 here. We obtain here A, B, C, D. That is R180. Again, operate here. We obtain A, B, C, D. It is R217. Again we operate, we get the identity. Therefore, this R90 generated by R90, generated by 270, it gives a subgroup which contains the elements R0, R90, R180, 270. Generated by R180. R1, this is the resultant. Again apply one more time R180, what we obtain? This A takes the position here. Instead of C, we are obtaining A, B, C, D. That is the original square, that is R0 identity, means this generated by R180 contains two elements R0, R180. Similarly here, generated by H, generated by V, generated by D, generated by D dash. It contains the elements R0H, R0V here. Here this generated by D contains R0D, generated by D dash contains R0D dash. Now let us check. This is generated by V. This is the operation, vertical operation. We are obtaining this resultant. This is A, D, C, B. Again operate one more time V here, means vertical line. What we obtain? This DA takes the position here. This CB takes the position there. This CB left hand side goes to right hand side here. This DA right hand side goes to left hand side DA. That is, we obtain this A, B, C, D. Means we obtain the original R0 identity. It is generated by V contains R0V. Similarly, generated by D contains R0. Because if we operate one more time this operation to this D, here D, we obtain the identity matrix. Sorry, identities element. Therefore, these are the generated by H, generated by V, generated by G, D, generated by D dash. These are the four subgroups of D4 and its order is 2. This R180 is also a subgroup, its order is 2. Here its order is 4. This R0, its order is 1. And D4, its order is 2 into 4, that is 8. Remark, number of subgroups in Zn, it's tau of n. What is this function tau? Tau of n. It is nothing but simply it is the number of divisors of n. It gives the simply number, total number, how many divisors of n. And how to find number of subgroups of Dn? It is tau of n plus sigma of n. Tau of n means total number of divisors of n plus sigma of n. Sigma function. Sigma of n means sum of divisors of n. Sum of positive divisors of n. It is tau of n plus sigma of n. It gives the number of subgroups in Dn. Tau of n gives the number of subgroups in Dn. See these two formulas, with these two formulas, we can easily calculate how many subgroups of Zn has. If I am checking, suppose n as 200. Find out the number of subgroups in Z200. That is, find out 2 of 200. For any value of n, we can easily calculate with this two remark. Subgroup of abelian group is also abelian. Subgroup of cyclic group is also cyclic. As the subgroup of abelian group is abelian, means what? If the group is abelian, all the subgroup is also abelian. But converse need not be true. If any of the subgroup is abelian, it need not imply group is abelian. For example, this is generated by R180. This is the abelian group, but this is the abelian group. But what about T4? It is non-abelian. It does not satisfy commutative property. Similarly, subgroup of cyclic group is cyclic. This R180. This is the cyclic group. Its order is 2. Means R180. It has order 2. It is a cyclic group, but T4 is not cyclic because D4 has no element of order 8. Therefore, this is the example, counter example. Converse of the above need not be true. Next, we will go to the next point. Center of a group. Center of G. It is denoted with this symbol, capital Z of G. Is it nothing but it is a set of all those elements in a G which commutes with each and every element of a group G. Z of G is nothing but set of all x belongs to G such that xy is equals to yx for each and every y belongs to G. This G contains set of all x belongs to G such that x commutes with each and every member of y. For each and every member of G, for all. Consider, suppose center of Z. See, as Z is abelian, center of Z is Z. There is one property, if group is abelian, if this suppose nature of G is abelian, it abelian means it satisfies the commutative property, means xy is equals to yx for each and every member of G. Means both are similar, means each and every member of G satisfies this property. The center of G contains all elements of G. Means whenever group is abelian, center of G is equals to group G itself. As Z is abelian, center of Z is Z. Q is abelian, center of Q is Q. R is abelian, center of R is R. Zn is abelian, center of Zn is Zn. What about center of Dn? As this Dn is non-abelian for n greater or equal by 3. Now see, if it depends on this center of Dn depends on this n, whether it is even or odd. If it is odd, center of Dn contains only identity because identity element is the element which commutes with each and every element of G. That's why always center of G contains identity. See, this center of G is always a subgroup of G. Rather, we can say that center of G is abelian subgroup of G. It is abelian subgroup of G always. And if n is even, center of G contains two elements. One is R0 and another is R180. Why this R180 is here? Whenever n is even, this R180 is included. And whenever n is odd, R0. Only R0 contains center of Dn. What about center of Sn, symmetric group? N greater or equal by 3, it is non-abelian. Center of Sn contains only identity element. What about center of Z4 cross D3? Is nothing but center of G1 cross G2. In general, center of G1 cross G2 can be isomorphic to center of G1 cross center of G2. It is center of Z4. Z4 is abelian. That's why center of Z4 is Z4. D3 is not abelian, but here 3 is odd. It contains singleton 0. R0 generated by singleton set R0 is identity and it is isomorphic to Z1. Therefore, Z, which is Z4 cross Z1 is nothing but isomorphic to Z4. Next example, suppose G is any group, then find out center of G 4 times here. As see, this center of G is abelian. If center of G is abelian, if any group is abelian, its center is nothing but group itself. Therefore, center of G is center of G itself. Again, take one more type center of G, we obtain the center of G. Again, take one more time, we obtain the center of G. Z, any time we obtain, it's nothing but center of G itself. Consider one another example. Suppose order of G is 121. Suppose we are having one group whose order is 121 and this group satisfies this condition, means x to the power 11 is equals to the identity for each and every member of G. Means each and every element of G satisfy this property. such a type of group we are having whose order is 121. Then what about the center of G? It is isomorphic to what? See here, order of group G is 121, means it is 11 square. Means here we are having only two possibilities. Either this G is isomorphic to Z121 or G is isomorphic to Z11 cross Z11. If suppose in the case if G is isomorphic to Z121, Z121 is abelian, rather Z121 is cyclic. If it is cyclic, it has an element of order 121, but this given condition is x raised to 11 is for all x. Means therefore, with this condition, G must be not isomorphic to Z121. Therefore, we left with only possibility that G must be isomorphic to Z11 cross Z11. Therefore, here center of Z11 cross Z11 is abelian group. In the previous video, we have seen if each Gi is abelian, then cross product of G1, G cross G2 cross Gn is abelian. Here Z11 is abelian, this is abelian, cross product, cross this external, this product is abelian. That is two tuples, members of this set are two tuples. Therefore, its center is nothing but Z11 cross Z11 itself. Therefore, in this example, center of G is isomorphic to Z11 cross Z11. Next is Lagrange's theorem. Lagrange's theorem. Let G be a group of, what is Lagrange's theorem? Suppose we are having a group G whose order is finite, that is n, and H be any subgroup of G, then Lagrange's theorem tells us that order of subgroup divides order of group. That is, order of H divides order of G. If G is any finite group, then order of subgroup divides the order of group. Converse of the Lagrange's theorem need not be true. Means, for example, suppose order of, for example, this converse example, A4, alternating group. S4, A4 is actually subgroup of S4. Rather, A4 is normal subgroup of S4. S4, its order is 4 factorial. That is, 4 factorial is nothing but 24. And A4 is nothing but set of all even permutations. In any symmetric group, exactly half of the permutations are even, exactly half of the permutations are odd. Therefore, this A4, order of A4 is 12. Exactly half of 24, that is 12. And A4 is a subgroup of S4. As 12 divides 6, 6 is a divisor of 12. 12 divides 6, 6 is a divisor of 12. But A4 has no subgroup of order 6. A4 has no subgroup of order 6. Therefore, this is the counter example of Lagrange's theorem. Means what? Whenever any divisor of group G, any divisor of the subgroup of G, it need not imply there exists a subgroup of that order. Therefore, A4 has no subgroup of order 6. Now, next we are going to see coset. Another important point, coset. What is a coset? Suppose G be any group and H is a subgroup of G. In order to define coset, we require one group G and H is one subgroup of G. Consider any element A belongs to group G, then this coset is defined like this. A is a member of G, H is a subgroup of G. AH is equals to, it contains the element set of all A small h, where this H belongs to H. This is called as left coset. Similarly, capital H A means set of all HA, where H belongs to H, is called as right coset of H in G. Why this is called as left coset, right coset? It depends on the position of that element itself. Here this position of element A is on left side of H. That's why it is called as left coset of H. Here this position of an element A is on right side of H. That's why it is called as right coset of H in G. Consider one example. Suppose G is Z and H is 3Z. 3Z is a subgroup of Z. We know that in the previously we have seen previous slide, each MZ is a subgroup of Z. M is greater equal by 0. Find all cosets of H in G. Now see here, G is Z, H is 3Z. 3Z means nothing but simply multiply each and every element of Z by 3. What do you obtain? 3 into 0, 3. 3 into 1, 3. 3 into minus 1, minus 3. 3 into 2, 6. 3 into minus 2, minus 6. Means 3Z contains the elements multiple of 3. 0 plus minus 3 plus minus 6 plus minus 9 and so on. Now see here, this what is this? A belongs to G, means here consider each and every element of Z and usual addition. As 0 belongs to Z, what we obtain? 0 plus 3Z. Simply each and every member of 3Z add 0. 0 plus 0, 0 plus 3, 0 minus 3, 0 plus 6, 0 minus 6, 0 plus 9, 0 minus 9, and so on like this. 0 plus 3Z, it contains the 3Z only. Next, as 1 belongs to Z, what we obtain? 1 plus 3Z. Add 1 to each and every element of 3Z. 0 plus 1, that is 1. 3 plus 1, 4. 6 plus 1, 7. 9 plus 1, 10, and so on. But we obtain 1 minus 3, minus 2. 1 minus 6, minus 5. 1 minus 9, minus 8, and so on. These are negative integers. These are the positive. Next, as 2 belongs to Z, what we obtain? 2 plus 3Z. Add 2 to each and every member of 3Z. 0 plus 2, 2. 3 plus 2, 5. 6 plus 2, 8. 9 plus 2, 11. Similarly, negative, 2 minus 3, minus 1, 2 minus 6, minus 4, 2 minus 9, minus 7. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Next, consider 3. 3 plus 3Z. Here 3 in the 3Z, add 3 to each and every element. We obtain again 3Z. Next, 4. 4 plus 3Z we obtain, which is similar set as 1 plus 3Z. Next, 5. 5 plus 3Z we obtain the similar set as 2 plus 3Z. Okay. Again, if we take negative integers, minus 1 plus 3Z, minus 2 plus 3Z, and so on. All these sets coincides with these three sets: 0 plus 3Z, 1 plus 2Z, 3 plus 2 plus 3Z. Therefore, 3Z has only 3 distinct cosets. That is 0 plus 3Z, 1 plus 3Z, 2 plus 3Z. Such that if we take the union of all three sets, 0 plus 3Z, 1 plus 3Z, 2 plus 3Z, it gives the whole group Z. And if we take the intersection of all these, you can observe here, there is no any element which is common to this all these three cosets, which is equals to empty. Means with this property, we can say that we can conclude that any two left cosets of H in G are either equal or disjoint. Here I am taking this one coset 3 plus 3Z, another one coset 0 plus 3Z, both are equal. And if I am taking 2 cosets 0 plus 3Z, 2 plus 3Z, both are distinct. Means any two cosets of H in G are either equal or disjoint. See, this coset need not be a subgroup. Question arises, no? Previously we have seen center of group is a subgroup of G, rather abelian subgroup. Whether this coset is a subgroup, not necessary. Coset need not be a subgroup. For example, this, consider this 1 plus 3Z. 1 plus 3Z is a coset, but whether it is a subgroup, no. Why it is not a subgroup here, 1 plus 3Z? Because 0 is the identity, but 0 is not the member of this, therefore identity property does not satisfy, therefore it is not a subgroup. Okay, now let us go to the remark. In any abelian group, every left coset is equal to the right coset. If the group is abelian, AH and HA both are similar, no? Commutative property, therefore left coset, right coset coincides. Coset need not be a subgroup, that I have explained here. Any two left cosets or right cosets are either equal or disjoint. You can observe here this remark. If A belongs to H, if that element A is in H, then AH and HA both are equal to H. Means, for example, here suppose 3 belongs to 3Z, H is 3Z, 3 belongs to 3Z. Therefore, what we obtain, 3 plus 3Z, it is nothing but the 3Z itself, like this. And one important remark, if H is a subgroup of G, then the number of distinct left cosets or right cosets of H in G is called as index of H in G. Index of H in G, it is denoted with this symbol. This is square bracket, index of H in G. And if group is finite, index of H in G. How to calculate this? Order of G divided by order of H. Now we will go to the next point, normal subgroup. Whenever we say that any subgroup to be a normal subgroup of G, if it satisfies this condition, for every element of X belongs to G, for every element H belongs to H, X inverse always belongs to the subgroup H. This X belongs to G, X inverse also belongs to G, because G is a group by the property of inverse and H is a member of H. This property should be hold for each and every element of G and H. If any subgroup satisfy this property, we say that this subgroup is a normal subgroup of G. Now the question arises, no, if suppose whenever I'm having one group and I'm having one subgroup, then how to check whether it is normal subgroup or not? You can go with the definition or you can use some of the important theorems. Like suppose if group G is abelian, all subgroups are normal. Okay. See the proofs of this you will easily available. You can get easily available in the textbook. I'm not going to explain the proofs of this. If group G is abelian, then all subgroups are normal. If suppose I am having one group G which is abelian and I am having one subgroup and I want to check whether this is normal or not, simply use this property. Group is abelian, each and every subgroup is normal. Similarly, if the group G is cyclic, then each and every subgroup is normal. Why? Because every cyclic is abelian, but abelian need not be cyclic. Also, contrapositive of this is also true. This every cyclic is abelian. Contrapositive is the same, but if it is non-abelian, non-cyclic. Center of G is always a normal subgroup of G. Center of G is always subgroup of G, abelian subgroup of G, normal subgroup of G. If H is a subgroup of G with index 2, this is also important. If any subgroup we are having whose index is 2 with the group, then we say that that subgroup is a normal subgroup of G. And always singleton E and G are always normal subgroup of G. G has always two normal subgroup exist. One is the identity, singleton identity, and another is the itself. Consider one example. If suppose order of G is 8, suppose I am having one group whose order is 8 and G has elements of order more than 4, then number of normal subgroups of G. How many normal subgroup of G exist? What is the order of G? It is 8. Means there are how many possibilities? There are many possibilities. Either G is isomorphic to Z8, G is isomorphic to Z4 cross Z2, or G is isomorphic to Q4. No, Q4 is a quaternion group. It is also of order 8. If suppose G is isomorphic to Q4, then whether G is isomorphic to Q4, but Q4 as here we have given, G has elements of order more than 4, but Q4 whether it has elements of order more than 4, no, Q4 has elements of order maximum 4. Therefore, this G is not isomorphic to Q4. What about Z2 cross Z4? Z2 cross Z4 has no element of order greater than 4. Therefore, this possibility also fails. We remains with only G is isomorphic to Z8. Therefore, we can, how many subgroups of Z8? Number of subgroups of Z8, 2 of 8. Number of positive divisors of 8. What are the divisors of 8? 1. 1 is divisor, 2 is the divisor, 4 is the divisor, 8 is the divisor. Means there are total 4 divisors. Means this group has 4 normal subgroups. Z8 is abelian, therefore its all subgroups are normal, and Z8 has 4 subgroups, therefore all these 4 subgroups are normal subgroups of G. Consider another example, S3. Symmetric group of order 3 factorial. Each Sn has order n factorial. 3 factorial is 6. Means these are the elements. It has 6 elements: identity, permutation 1, 2. This S3 contains set upon 1, 1 on 2 mapping from a set containing n elements to itself. That is set containing 3 elements to itself. This is the permutation 1, 2, permutation of order 2, 2, 3, permutation of order 3, permutation of order 2, 1, 3, and these two are the permutations having order 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. What are the subgroups? First one is the identity and S3, both are the subgroups always. Second one, identity 1, 2, identity 1, 3, identity 2, 3. These are always subgroups of order 2, and one another subgroup order 3. One is the identity, is 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. Therefore, S3 has how many normal subgroups? Now see, these are simply subgroups H1 to H6. S3 has total 6 subgroups, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. Out of this, as this S3 is non-abelian, therefore we can't say that all subgroups are normal. Now among these subgroups, check which of them are normal or not. Identities, these are the trivial normal subgroups H1 and H6. What about this H2, H3, S4? These are not normal subgroup. Why this H2 is not normal? See here. H2 is nothing but identity 1, 2. It is not normal. Because consider let X be any member of S3, that is 1, 2, 3. And H is 1, 2, belongs to H2. What we obtain? XH, X inverse. You can calculate this. X is this, H is this, X inverse. Inverse of 1, 2, 3 is this inverse 1, 3, 2. And take the usual permutation. We obtain this permutation 2, 3. And this is the not member of H2. 2, 3 is not here. Therefore, this H2 is not normal subgroup of this S3. Similarly, we can check H3 and H4. They are not normal subgroup of S3. Therefore, how many normal subgroups of S3 it has? Only 3. One is the identity, one is the itself, and one subgroup, the order is 3. Or we can use here this index property. What is the index of H5 to S3? Here S3 order, it is 6. It is order 3. 6 divided by 3, index 2. Index 2 means it is a normal subgroup. Next definition is factor group. What is meant by factor group? Suppose H be any normal subgroup of G. See, in order to define factor group, normal H should be normal subgroup of G. Whenever H must be a normal subgroup of G, then and only then factor group is defined. And what are the elements in this factor group? Set of all, it is denoted with this symbol G by H. It is the elements in this set, I don't think but set of all AH, where A belongs to group G, or set of all HA, A belongs to G. And this factor group, this is the group with this operation. Take any two elements in this set J by H, suppose HA, HB, then this resultant is nothing but this operation HAB, where this HA, HB belongs to, sorry, it is not G, HA, HB belongs to J by H, where A and B belongs to G. And what is the identity of this factor group? H into E. The H into is nothing but H itself. H into E means multiply each and every element or operate each and every element of H with this identity E, we get the set H itself, that is subgroup H itself. Consider one example, construct a factor group G by H, where G is Z, H is 2Z, H is 4Z. Check whether this, in order to exist this quotient group or factor group G by H, that is Z upon 4Z, 4Z must be a normal subgroup of Z. Now see, previously we have seen each MZ is a subgroup of Z. Each MZ is a subgroup of Z. No? And this Z is abelian. Z is abelian. By this previous note, G is abelian. All subgroups are normal. 4Z is a subgroup of Z. Z is abelian. Therefore, 4Z is a normal subgroup of Z. Therefore, the quotient group Z upon 4Z exists. What are the elements in this quotient group Z upon 4Z? It is set of all A plus 4Z, where A belongs to Z. This A belongs to integer. Suppose A is 0, 0 plus 4Z, 1 plus 4Z, 2 plus 4Z, 3 plus 4Z. Why this 4 plus 4Z? 4 plus 4Z is again a member of 4 plus 4Z is nothing but coincides with this. Why we are not including 5 plus 4Z? 5 plus 4Z is nothing but it is coincides with 1 plus 4Z. We are taking simply these distinct elements of Z plus 4Z. We are obtaining 4 elements, 0 plus 4Z, 1 plus 4Z, 2 plus 4Z, 3 plus 4Z. At this here, 0 plus 4Z is the identity. As this is the identity, its order should be 1. This 1 plus 4Z, its order is 4. Why its order is 4? Because 1 plus 4Z plus 1 plus 4Z, what we obtain? This operation. 1 plus 1, that is 2 plus 4Z. Again add this 1 plus 4Z to this 2 plus 4Z. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 4Z. Again add 1 plus 4Z, 4 plus 4Z, which is nothing but identity, 0 plus 4Z. Therefore, its order is 4. 2 plus 4Z, its order is 2. 3 plus 4Z, order is 4. Therefore, it has 4 elements. Identity order 1. 1 element of order 2. 2 elements of order 4. Therefore, this is isomorphic to Z4. Consider one another example, Z4 cross Z10 G group and H is generated by 1, 5. Then this quotient group Z4 cross Z10 upon generated by 1, 5 is isomorphic to. What is order of G here? 4 into 10, that is 40. What is the order of H here? How to find order of H? It is the LCM. LCM, least common multiple of order of 1 in Z4, order of 5 in Z10. What is the order of 1 in Z4? That is 4. LCM of 4, order of 5 in Z10, 2. LCM of 4, 2, this 4. Therefore, what we obtain the order of this quotient group G by H, 40 divided by 4, that is 10. And it is 10, it must be isomorphic to Z10. Why it is must be isomorphic to Z10? Because this is abelian, Z10 is also abelian. Let us go with the remark. If m greater than 0, then Z upon mz isomorphic to Zm. This is the important one. If m not equals to 0, n not equals to 0, and n divides m, then nz upon mz isomorphic to Zm upon n. If m and n both are not equals to 0 and n divides m, then mz upon nz isomorphic to Zm upon n. This is also important. Factor group of abelian group is abelian. Means whenever my group G is abelian, then its factor group is also abelian. But converse is not true. Means whenever my factor group is abelian, it need not imply group should be abelian. That here D4 upon center of D4 is isomorphic to Z2 cross Z2. Z2 cross Z2 is abelian, but this D4 is not abelian. Factor group of cyclic group is cyclic, but converse need not be true. Means for example, D4 converse need not be true. Means what? Whenever my quotient group is a cyclic, it need not imply group must be cyclic. For example, Z2 D4 upon this generated by 0, R0, R90, 180, R180, R270. Its order is 2, no? D4 order 8 divided by 4. 8 divided by 4, it is isomorphic to Z2. Now next go with the definition of homomorphism. Homomorphism. Consider in order to define homomorphism, we require two groups. Suppose G dot be any group. This is the binary operation. This symbol is the binary operation on G. This star is binary operation on G dash. We are having two groups. Sorry, spelling mistake is there. We are having two groups. A mapping F from G to G dash is called a homomorphism if f of x into y is equals to f of x star f of y for all x comma y belongs to G. Means what? If we take any two elements in the domain, f is from G to G dash. If we take any two elements in domain and operate f, we'll obtain the resultant f of x star. Star is the operation on G dash. Simply we can say that homomorphism is structure preserving function. It preserves the structure. Okay, consider the examples. F is a mapping from, this is the example, F is a mapping from Z6 to Z8 defined by f of x is equals to 0x is homomorphism. Let us check this homomorphism, 0x, this is a mapping they have given. Consider any two elements in Z6, x comma y belongs to Z6. What we obtain f of x plus y, that is by definition, it is 0 of x plus y, it can be written as 0x into 0y. 0 into x is nothing but f of x, 0 into y is f of y. That is, this satisfies this definition. Therefore, we can say that f is a homomorphism with this definition, f of x equals to 0x. Second, suppose f is a mapping from Z6 to Z8 defined by f of x is 1x. Check whether it is homomorphism or not. Suppose x is equals to 5. Consider any two elements in Z6. Suppose x is 5 and y is 1. What we obtain? Find out LHS, f of 5 plus 1. That is f of 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is nothing but 0 in domain. It is f of 0. 1 into 0, that is 0. Calculate RHS, f of 5 plus f of 1. See here, both operations are distinct. In Z6, operation is addition modulo 6. Z8, in the Z8, operation is addition modulo 8. f of 5 plus f of 1. f of 5, 1 into 5 plus 1 into 1. 5 plus 1, that is 6. 6 is nothing but 6 here in Z8. And 0 not equals to 6. Therefore, here f of LHS not equals to RHS. That is f of 5 plus 1 not equals to f of 5 plus f of 1. Therefore, this mapping Z6 to Z8 defined by this 1x is not a homomorphism. See, this is the very important how to say whether f is a mapping from Zm to Zn defined by f of x is Ax. Well, this A belongs to the codomain Zn is homomorphism or not. How to check? So first of all, find out the order of that element in a codomain. Suppose order of A is K in a codomain Zn. Then find out, then check whether there exists any element whose order is K in a domain. Means existence. Check whether there exists any element whose order is a K in a domain. If such element exists, we say that this mapping defined by f of x is Ax is an homomorphism. See, this property is useful if we are having large values of m and n. Suppose f is a mapping from Z100 to Z200. In that case, this is useful. Now, how many homomorphisms from Zm to Zn exist? It is GCD of m, n. Simple. Number of homomorphisms from Zn to Zn. GCD of m, n. Similarly here, number of homomorphisms from Zm to Zn cross Zk is nothing but GCD of mn into GCD of mk. Product. GCD of mn into GCD of mk. Sorry, it is GCD of m into n, GCD of mk. It is not n, actually it is m, printing mistake. F is a mapping from Zm cross Zn to Zl cross Zk. Then how many homomorphisms exist? GCD of m into L, m into k, GCD of n into L, GCD of n into k. Product of all these GCDs. Now this is the property of homomorphism. Homomorphism preserves the identity. Means homomorphism maps. F is a homomorphism from G to G dash. Then it maps identity in domain to identity in codomain. Means f of E equals to E dash. E is the identity of G. E dash is the identity of G dash. Also, if f is homomorphism, then f of x inverse is nothing but inverse of f of x. Both are similar. Now clear this homomorphism. Now let us go with the onto homomorphism. A mapping f from G to G dash is said to be onto homomorphism if it satisfies the two conditions. First of all, it is a homomorphism, then it is onto. Onto means to every element in codomain there must have preimage in domain. For example, suppose Z4 to Z2. How many onto homomorphism exist? No? First of all, check how many homomorphism exist, and then check how many onto homomorphism exist. What is the GCD of? With this second remark, number of homomorphism is GCD of m, n. GCD of 4, 2, 2 means there are two homomorphisms. They are 0x and 1x. F of x is 0 into x, f of x is 1 into x. Check this 0x is onto or not. This is not onto because each and every element of this domain Z4, it maps to 0 only, means as 1 belongs to Z2 but 1 has no preimage in this. Therefore, this 0x is not onto 1x. 1x is the onto homomorphism because see this diagram 1 into x where x belongs to the domain Z4. If x is 0, image of 0 is 0. If x is 1, 1 into 1, image of 1 is 1. If x is 2, image of 2, 1 into 2. 2 is nothing but codomain 0, image of 2 is 0. If x is 3, image of 3, f of x is 3, f of 3, 1 into 3. 3 in codomain is nothing but 1. 3 maps to 1. Means to each and every codomain, there exists an preimage in domain. Therefore, this 1x is onto, but this 0x is not onto homomorphism. This is the important note. If n divides m, here 2 divides 4, the number of onto homomorphism is phi of n. Here number of onto homomorphism is phi of 2. What is phi of 2? Less than all those integers less than 2 relatively prime to 2. Phi of 2 is 1. Means Z4 to Z2 has exactly 1 onto homomorphism. Now this is the definition of isomorphism. Isomorphism means any mapping f from G to G dash is said to be an isomorphism if it satisfies the three conditions. Homomorphism onto 1, 1. Sorry, actually it is small f. This f must be homomorphism, f must be 1, 1, f must be onto. Any function which satisfies three conditions, 1, 1 onto homomorphism, we say that the mapping is an isomorphism. Example, suppose f from Z to Z, how many isomorphism exist? Suppose Z to Z defined by this 1x, 1 minus 1x. There are exactly two isomorphisms. See how many homomorphisms exist. Z to Z, it has infinite number of homomorphisms defined by f of x is m into x. But among all these homomorphisms, among this infinite number of homomorphisms, only 1x and minus 1x are 1, 1 and on 2. They are 1, 1. How to show 1, 1? Consider distinct 1, 1 is nothing but distinct elements in domain having distinct images in codomain. And how to show it is 1, 1? Consider two images are equal, show that elements are equal. That is f of x equals to f of y implies x equals to y. F of x, 1x is equals to 1y implies x equals to y. Similarly, minus 1x. This 1x minus 1x, these two mappings satisfy all these three properties, 1, 1 onto homomorphism. Therefore, Z to Z, we are having only two isomorphisms. If F is a mapping from Z20 to Z20, how many isomorphisms? It is the same formula, phi of m. This is same formula is going to value Zm to Zn. See here, in order to have isomorphism, in order this onto property is very important. It is onto means number of, in order to show or in order to check any mapping to be an isomorphism or not, domain codomain must contain same number of elements. F of x is 7x, Z20 to Z20, whether it is an isomorphism. See, there is one short trick. How to check if f from Zm to Zn and f of x defined by ax. Suppose a is 7 here. It is an isomorphism or not. Simply check the GCD of a and this n is 1 or not. If it is 1, it is an isomorphism. You can check these conditions here. And here GCD of 7, 20 is 1. That's why it is isomorphism. Here Z20 to Z20, f of x is 5x. What is GCD of 5 and 20? It is not 1, it is 5. Therefore, it is not an isomorphism. Because it is not 1, 1. Why it is not 1, 1 here? Let us see. 1, 1 means consider the two images are equal, show that elements are equal. What is image of 0? F of 0. 5 into 0, 0. 4 belongs to Z20. What is f of 4? 5 into 4, 20. 20 is nothing but 0. F of 0 equals to f of 4, but 0 not equals to 4. Therefore, this is not an isomorphism. Kernel of homomorphism. Kernel of homomorphism means it is a set of all those elements in a domain which maps to identity in a codomain. F of x equals to E dash. Kernel is always a subgroup of domain. Rather, we can say that kernel is always a normal subgroup of domain. Now, these three are important theorems. First isomorphism theorem, second isomorphism theorem, third isomorphism theorem. These three theorems are very important in the algebra. First isomorphism theorem. What is first isomorphism theorem? If suppose F is any homomorphism from a group G to a group G dash, then G by kernel of F is isomorphic to F of G. This mapping is an isomorphism. Isomorphism means both are isomorphic to each other. G by kernel of F is isomorphic to F of G. What is F of G? Range set of G. Sorry, range set of function F. What is the meaning of simply first isomorphism theorem? Every homomorphic image of a group G, this is homomorphic image of a group G, is isomorphic to quotient group of G. This is the quotient group. Why this is quotient group? Kernel of F is a normal subgroup of G. That's why this quotient group exists. Second isomorphism theorem, let H be a subgroup of G and N be a normal subgroup of G. Then this Hn upon N, quotient group Hn upon N isomorphic to H upon H intersection N. This is third isomorphism theorem. H and K be the two normal subgroups of G, with K is a subgroup of H, then G by H is isomorphic to G by K divided by H by K. Let us go with the examples of these three theorems. First example, suppose G is this group, Z cross Z cross Z, abelian group, we know that. By this previous note, each Gi is abelian, G1 cross G2 cross Gn is abelian. H, Z cross singleton 0, it is subgroup of G. N, singleton 0 cross Z, it is also subgroup of G. Let us verify this second isomorphism theorem to here. What we obtain H into N here, you can easily identify. H into N. Z cross singleton 0. Singleton 0 cross Z cross Z. What we obtain? Here it is Z cross singleton 0, Z cross Z, singleton 0 cross Z cross Z cross Z. What we obtain? H intersection N. H, this is N. What we obtain? This intersection singleton 0 cross Z cross singleton 0. What we obtain? Hn upon N. You can easily calculate. We obtain this Z isomorphic to Z, LHS, RHS same. Second isomorphism theorem. This is the example. Illustration on this second isomorphism theorem. The second example is the illustration of third isomorphism theorem. Suppose G is Z, H is 2Z, 2Z is a subgroup of Z. Consider K as 6Z, 6Z is a subgroup of Z. Rather, we can say that 6Z, H and K are the normal subgroups of G. No? This 2Z is a normal subgroup of Z, 6Z is a normal subgroup of Z. Why? Z is abelian, all the subgroups are normal. And this 6Z is a subgroup of 2Z. Therefore, what we obtain? G by H, Z upon 2Z isomorphic to Z2 by the previous remark. G by K, Z upon K is what? 6Z is isomorphic to Z6. H by K, 2Z upon 6Z is isomorphic to Z6 upon 2, that is Z3. So G by K upon H by K is isomorphic to Z6 divided by Z3 and Z2. Therefore, both are similar. This example second is the illustration of this third isomorphism theorem. Now let us go with the illustration of first isomorphism theorem. Find the number of homomorphisms from S5 to Z3. S5, it is a symmetric group of order 5 factorial, and Z3 is the usual Z3 under the operation addition modulo 3. How many normal subgroups of S5? See, S5 has only 3 normal subgroups. See, in general, any Sn n greater or equal by 5, it has only 3 normal subgroups. One is the identity, second is the itself, and third one is the A5. Alternating group is always a normal subgroup of symmetric group. In general, we can say that An is a normal subgroup of Sn. First one. Now see, there are here there are 3 normal subgroups of domain. Therefore, only 3 possibilities of quotient group exist. These 3 possibilities of kernel exist. If kernel, we are taking H1, that is identity, that is S5 upon identity is isomorphic to S5, and which is nothing but image of F. But what is my codomain? In the here example, in this example, codomain is Z3. This S5 is the image of F. As Z3 range set, image of F. See, this image set, range set is always a subgroup of codomain. Means this Z3 is always a subgroup, sorry, this S5 is always a subgroup of Z3. Here, this S5 has subgroup of order 5 factorial, that is itself S5, but Z3 has no subgroup of order 5 factorial. Therefore, this kernel is not allowed. Therefore, there does not exist any homomorphism. Now, consider the second choice of kernel, A5. What is S5 upon A5? It is isomorphic to Z2, and Z2 is nothing but image of F. As Z3 has no subgroup of order 5, whether Z2 has, sorry, whether Z2, here Z2 has a subgroup of order 2, no? But Z3, whether it has a subgroup of order, therefore, so no homomorphism exists. Let us check with this third choice. There are 3 choices total. S5, A5, identity. S5, let us check this S5. S5 upon S5, the isomorphic to Z1. Z3 has a subgroup of order 1. Z3 means it contains the elements 0, 1, 2. Generated by 1, generated by 2. Means 2. Actually, it is order 2. Sorry. Z3 has no subgroup of order 2, but Z2 has subgroup of order 2. It is not 5. Printing mistake. Actually, it should be a 2. Therefore, with this choice, there does not exist any homomorphism. Now, this Z1 has a subgroup of order 1. Z3 has also a subgroup of order 1, identity. Therefore, homomorphism exists. Therefore, how many homomorphism exist from this mapping S5 to Z3? Only one homomorphism exists, which is nothing but this. Remark, this is the important remark. Whenever my mapping F is from Sn to Zm, where this n is greater equal by 2, the number of homomorphism is nothing but, it depends on totally M. If this M is odd, it has only one homomorphism. If M is even, it has two homomorphism. In this previous example, Z3, no? 3 is odd, therefore it has only one homomorphism. F is from Zm to Zm, how many homomorphisms? 5 of M. And if F is a mapping from Z to Zm, how many homomorphisms? M. Total number of homomorphism is M. See, these are some of the examples. You can check this example. Let us take this example. If suppose G be a group of order 77, then center of G is isomorphic to which? It is a group of order 77, means it can be written as 7 into 11. 7, 11 both are primes. 7 is less than 11. 7 does not divide 11 minus 1, that is 7 does not divide 10. It is does not divide. There is only one possibility that it must be isomorphic to Z77. And Z77 is abelian. Therefore, its center of Z77 is Z77 itself. Similarly, you can check this one. Now let us check this one. Which of the following group is non-abelian but all subgroups are normal? You can see this example. Which of the following group is non-abelian but all subgroups are normal? This is abelian. This B, option B is abelian. We are having two options which are non-abelian. Q4, S3. Q4, S3. Okay. Group is non-abelian, but all subgroups are normal. See, in this S3, each and every subgroup is not normal subgroup. H2. Previously, we have seen one subgroup of order 2 which is not normal subgroup of S3. Therefore, this option where we can cancel here, we left with only Q4. This Q4 group is a special group. Here, this Q4 is not normal subgroup. Q4 is not abelian. Sorry, Q4 is not abelian, but all subgroups of Q4 are normal subgroups. This is one another two examples. You can see these two examples for your homework. Thank you, friends.